my mic down again. 1 second here, folks. There we go. That's better. What's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's shaking? What's doing? Ow! Do it again! Yes! 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 What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, July the 31st, 2025, 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is episode 348 of Mcrae Live. My name is Dave Mcrae, coming to you live from the Voice Band Studios in Toronto, Canada. The Conjuring Last Rites dropped their final trailer. It's coming out September 5th, the final Conjuring movie. Are you ready for it? What did you think about it? Jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Jump into the chat room and let me know your thoughts. I want to know. I want to know, ladies and gentlemen. It might be a little hot, actually, on the mic there. Hey, what's going on? Let me just take my... Hang on a sec here. Why am I... so strange. It's weird. There we go. There we go. That's better. Anyway, hope you're all doing well, folks. Welcome to episode 348 of Mcrae Live. Thank you for joining me here today. We're going to be talking about the Conjuring, the Last Rites dropped what is presumably their final trailer. So I'm excited to talk about that. We're also going to take a look at the development campaign for the house on Port Robinson Road. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. A little bit of a slow week, but of course we are in the middle of that lull. We are in that sort of that lull, and I'd love to get to 35% by the end of tonight, if possible, and 40% by next Tuesday. I'm not being greedy. I'm just looking at the math and trying to kind of think of, well, what are the milestones I need to get to in order to make sure that we cross the threshold so we can go into in demand. And, you know, if we're at 30% 6 weeks in, that's not good. So I'm just trying to kind of keep that momentum up. You know what I mean? So we're going to be taking a look at that as well. So if you want to pick up something on the campaign, tonight might be the night to do it. Just saying. Be greatly appreciated. But before we jump into that, let's talk about The Conjuring, The Last Rites. Now, I am a big Conjuring fan. When I say that, I'm talking specifically about The Conjuring from 2013. It was one of the, I'll never forget it. I went to see it in the movie theater, and it was a great theatrical experience because it was opening night. It was packed, and opening night for a horror movie that's getting a lot of buzz and it's packed is great to watch. Like, it's great to be, there's nothing better than watching a horror movie that is really good and everybody's screaming and yelling and hooting and hollering but not you know, like annoyingly so where you can't hear anything. Not like, you know, anyway, I don't understand some of these people, but I really liked it. I still believe that the first Conjuring is one of the best mainstream studio released horror movies of the last 25 years. I think it's right up there with the first Insidious. Now, like Insidious Chapter 2, I like The Conjuring 2. I did. I mean, all four movies are directed by James Wan. I did like The Conjuring 2, not as much as the first one, but I really like James Wan's horror sensibilities. I think him and Leigh Whannell have terrific horror sensibilities. And what I mean by that is from a directorial standpoint and an execution standpoint, their vibe, I mean, yes, it's mainstream and you got to show, you know, and you got to show, but their vibe, they find that balance. I find that both filmmakers have a nice balance of pleasing the studios, you know, okay, we got to show something, we got to do this, but also still maintaining that level of suspense and intrigue and eeriness and slow burn and, you know, it doesn't peak too soon. I really, really appreciated that about both or all four of, you know, the James Wan directed Conjuring and Insidious films. The Conjuring Part 3, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, came out in 2021. Obviously, all of these films are based on real cases, real things, real events that the Warrens investigated. And The Devil Made Me Do It was directed by Michael Chavez, I believe. Chavez. And I watched it, and The Devil Made Me Do It is not a terrible horror movie. It's not a bad horror movie. It certainly passes the time on a Sunday, Saturday night. You don't have anything to do. You grab some munchies. You watch, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. But I am not a huge fan of that movie. I'm not a huge fan of that movie. And I didn't like the movie. I think it's serviceable, but it doesn't have this. It did not have the same style and horror sensibilities that the two previous films had. And the heart of the film was there still, I guess. The Ed and Lorraine Warren, but and also it peaked way too soon. I've talked about this before. One of the things that frustrates me, if you peak too soon I don't mean you can't have a great opening. Jaws has a great opening, right? And nobody says Jaws peaked too soon. You can have a great opening, but if you peak too soon, and what I mean by that in more specifically in regards to The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, is that the whole first 15, 20 minutes of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is akin to like the third act of most horror movies. It is wild, off the wall, bonkers, insane. Special effects galore. Like, it's just like, where do we go from here? Right? And I'm of the mindset that if you peak too soon, visually, emotionally, then you have nowhere left to go. And I sort of felt that way, with The Devil Made Me Do It. It just was like The Devil Made Me Do It's, prologue, for all intents and purposes, would be the third act in most crazy horror movies. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, holy shit. And so I'm hoping Last Rites doesn't do that, and that it still builds and allows us to, kind of take us on that roller coaster. It doesn't matter what what film you're watching. Great horror movies are roller coasters, right? They take their time. They go up, 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 up. It doesn't mean you can't have a great opening, but I just mean that, they take their time. So I watched the trailer. 3 or 4 months ago. I thought it was all right. I liked this trailer better than the one a few months ago. I did. I thought it looked all right. There's nothing in it that makes me think this is going to be better than The Devil Made Me Do It, but there's nothing in it that makes me think that it's going to be bad. It looks like it's playing the part. It looks interesting. It looks like it actually might be a better film than The Devil Made Me Do It, which is interesting. So, obviously, we're jumping to 1986 and it has in the trailer, Lorraine realizes that this demon or whoever it is was, the original demon that, back in this early 70s and yada, yada, yada. And so, it's an interesting sort of story there. And this is supposedly the last one, unless it makes a lot of money, and then it won't be. Then they'll do spinoffs of the Ed and Lorraine's children, grandchildren. No, but, I think it looks good. Bloody Disgusting. This is what they had to say. Good old Bloody Disgusting. Oh, where are we here? There they are. The Devil Has Come to Pennsylvania, the final film in the franchise. Well, we'll see. The Conjuring Last Rites is headed to theaters in September with Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson is like a Scream King, man. Patrick Wilson starring in one last terrifying adventure. Watch the final trailer for the final installment below. Discover why this case ended it all. In theaters on September 5th, 2025, The Conjuring: The Last Rites draws inspiration from the real-life Smurl family haunting. Now, I know that that Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards is a big fan of this Smurl family haunting. So if anything, Barry, I hope you enjoy the movie because I know that you really like this. This is from Wikipedia. This is what the film is based on. I had never heard of this. I had not seen the early 90s TV movie that Barry has seen and loves. But this is from Wikipedia. The Smurl haunting refers to claims made by Jack and Janet Smurl of West Pittston, Pennsylvania, who alleged that a demon inhabited their home between 1974 and 1989. Now, before we continue, let me just say that if you are living in your house for 15 years with a demon, that surprises me. I think the Amityville Horror and the Lutz family and all that, I tend to lean that I do think it was a hoax. But they played the hoax right. They really sold it. They bought the house, and 27 days later, or however long it was, they left, and they left all their belongings behind. They just packed up a few things, one night in a storm in a van, and they took off. And I still believe it's a hoax, and they're full of shit. But I will say that that's the way to do it. Living with a demon for 15 years somehow feels a little counterintuitive to the whole, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. But nonetheless, I thought that was the Smurfs. The Smurfs claim, the Smurls claim gained wide press attention and were investigated by demonologists who encouraged the family's supernatural beliefs and clergy, psychologists, and scientific skeptics. Excuse me, hang on a second. Yes, no, that does say that. Sorry. For some reason, why does this look blurry on my screen? I don't know why. Hopefully it's not blurry on yours. No, it's just because the thing was low. Investigated demonologists who encouraged the family's supernatural beliefs and clergy, psychologists, and scientific skeptics who offered more what's that word? Parsimonious? That's a word I'm not too familiar with. Explanations. Parsimonious? Chat room, you let me know. That's a word I don't think I'm too... Or I'm having a brain fart. I'm like, oh, that word. Yeah. Well, it's certainly not a word that appears in voiceover scripts too often, that's for sure. Anyways, the Smurls' version of their story was the subject of a 1986 paperback titled The Haunted and a 1991 made-for-TV movie of the same name, released by 20th Century Fox. The upcoming 2025 horror film, The Conjuring Last Rites, is reportedly based on the Smurl haunting. And I've also heard that they take creative liberties. They take massive creative liberties, as one does, especially when you're doing a massive... I'm going to find out how to correctly say this word. Maybe I am having a brain fart. When you're doing a massive sort of, paranormal type supernatural film. Parsimonious. Of course. Parsimonious. Okay. Yeah. I was having a brain fart. Parsimonious. I've heard the word. I don't say it too often, but that's why it threw me off. Do you want to know why? I should have, as I was phonetically sounding it out, if I had just gone the par instead of the, I had paranormal in my brain because we're talking about the paranormal. So I'm like, parsimonious? Parsimony. If I had just went par, I would have got it immediately. Parsimonious, of course. Okay. Anyways, so that's the based on the real story. Oops, we're not the campaign yet. So again, like I said, I've read that they've taken some massive creative liberties and understandably so. But I like the. One could argue and say, you could actually make a ton of these movies, really, in reality, because there's so many different case files and all that kind of stuff. And if these movies continue to make money, then they will. And let's not forget, this likely will not be the last one. It might be the last one for a while, for sure, because it also, I don't know if Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson signed a multi-picture deal. I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I have no idea. But they also want to go off and do other things. And, fast forward 10 years, 15 years, and they, 20 years, they do a legacy sequel, I don't know. I don't know. If it doesn't do well, then it definitely will be the last one. If it does really well, then it probably won't. But I thought the trailer looked all right. I thought it looked all right. It looks like a Conjuring film. I'd have to go back and watch the trailer for the first Conjuring again and see sort of the vibe of that trailer. But for me, like I said, these kinds of horror movies are never going, like, it looks like it could be a lot of fun, a fun, entertaining time at the theater, for sure. Hands down, absolutely. And I will be the first, when I don't know if I'll see it in the theater, but when I watch it, I will absolutely, I'm always going to be honest. And I want to like these films, but it's hard for me to like, it's very easy for me to like the first one or two installments of a lot of series and franchises, because they tend to, and unless they're right out of the gate, like a gratuitous over the top film, like, a Terrifier, but, like The Conjuring, Insidious, a lot of movies, like the first installment, the first two installments, I'm usually always on board, because it's a little more, especially if, you have James Wan, right? The first Saw, it usually falls within the wheelhouse of my kind of horror, right? But unfortunately, the longer these series go on, the more sensational they get, right? And it's hard for me to get excited when you hit part 5. Although I will say, I was, much to the surprise of I think everybody, Insidious, The Red Door, I actually liked a lot better than I thought I was going to. I heard it was a catastrophic dumpster fire. And when I watched it, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it here at home. And when I watched it, I was like, oh, that's actually not that bad. Like, it's not great. It doesn't hold a candle to the first one, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But also, I think a large part of that was not necessarily the story, but more just really appreciating seeing the family unit back together, and it wasn't just, a 22-year-old actor playing the same character. It literally was the same actor who played 10-year-old Dalton in the original Insidious. It was the same actor. So there's, a believability and a tangibility, to that. It's always great when you can get the same actor, because it feels more real and authentic. And so I appreciated that. And so seeing that family unit between Rose Byrne, Patrick Wilson, and I forget the actor's name, but the guy who played Dalton, was kind of cool. Because it was him. It wasn't just an actor playing him. It was him. And of course, that's always, if you can do that, that's always cool. So I actually didn't mind The Last Door. It wasn't great, but I will say this, the way it ended, it's over. It's over. Like, that family story is done. But of course, I think it made the most out of any Insidious movie, and they're going to do another one. And so if you really want these franchises to stop, it's a very, very, very simple formula. Don't go see the movie. But of course, you can't convince everybody to do that, right? But it's true. Like, if The Last Rites opens with $5 million at the box office, they're not going to make another one. All right? This is the way it goes. It's the way it goes. It's all about money. It's all about money. It doesn't matter how good it is. Doesn't matter how good it is. So of course you can't do that. But, so I'm kind of like I think I like these trailers more than the Devil Made Me Do It trailers. Again, I got to go back and watch them, but this one, maybe it's because there's that, it's the final one. And, and there's some things in this trailer where I'm like, oh, that's a really cool shot. Oh, that looks like that could be a really tense scene. Oh, I really like that. But I wasn't crazy on The Devil Made Me Do It, and it's the same director. And visually, I have no doubt that it will be a very visually, a palatable film. But whether the story and are they going to peak too soon? Like, that's what I'm worried about. Like in the first 15, 20 minutes of this movie, are we going to have like, some wild, crazy shit going on? I'm of that ilk now where I just much prefer, I much prefer just more, again, there's room for everybody at the table, of course. But whenever I see something that's like, I don't want them to lose me in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Because that can happen. And I know people make fun of me for it. Oh, Dave, you're just, Dave, you're so stuck up. You're such a gatekeeper. Oh, Dave, it's just fun. It's just like, but that's I'm also a filmmaker, right? And so, and it's not like this is like just something I decided to do at 46 years old. I went to film school. I've studied the art of film and storytelling. And lots of people have. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I'm just saying this has been my whole life, right? Working in the entertainment business and film and movies and things like that. And so, I think when you are heavily invested on that side of it as well as being a fan, but also on the other side of it, yeah, we tend to be maybe a little anal and a little nitpicky and a little, kind of like, and you don't have to be a filmmaker either. I mean, you can just be a regular, film fan, but you have to be at some level heavily invested in a specific genre or franchise, or where you really care, right? I mean, a lot of Halloween listen, there's most Halloween fans are not filmmakers and never have a desire to make a movie, but you're heavily invested into the franchise, so you care. It's that extra you know what I mean? And it's the same with me with the art of horror. I think there's room for everybody at the table, like I've said, but I don't know. Again, maybe it's my age. Maybe, I'm going to be 50 in 4 years. And maybe it's just that thing where I'm like, like there's a lot of this kind of stuff, like when I saw that, like when Russell Crowe does the Pope's Exorcist and then he does another Pope's Exorcist or another exorcism movie. And it's just like, what are we doing, man? Like, what are we doing? And that Pope's Exorcist was like bonkers, like just off the wall bonkers, and like I much prefer Immaculate with Sydney Sweeney. And it's not because Sydney Sweeney's easy on the eyes. And she was great in that movie, and she didn't show her boobs in that movie. I thought she was going to when they got in like the pool kind of scene. I'm like, oh, here we go. There's got to be a boobs. But she didn't. Wouldn't have made sense narratively either, although I'm sure they could have found a way. But I really like that movie a lot. Again, it's more nuanced, more subtle, more psychological. And that first Conjuring film, like the first Conjuring is about demons and things that go bump. No, not even that. It's more that first Conjuring film from 2013, you could say again is very modern, mass general audience appeal horror movie, and it is. But the way I love Wan's sensibilities, that he didn't peak too soon. He took you on a roller coaster. I mean, we had to go through all the all that stuff, and in the dark, and all those photos crashing off the wall in the middle of the night, and like, what's going on? And you got used to the family, and you became a part of the family, and it was, dare I say, I mean, these movies are always more plot driven than anything else, but dare I say it had a little bit of that character driven, it was a little bit character driven. It's not like Jaws, but I mean, like you had that, right? You didn't, and so that's why I always say that it's one of the best mass appeal, popular sort of filmmaking horror movie, of the last 25 years, because it's almost the best of both worlds. It doesn't go all icing, and it doesn't go all cake, or people are gonna be like, no, it's too pretentious, too stuck up, and it kind of hits that middle ground. And I think that's really cool, and people like me who really do love the more, elevated stuff can still appreciate it because it's there. It takes its time. It's that, yeah, you know what I mean? And that third act, like the third act of the first Conjuring is like the first 15 minutes of The Devil Made Me Do It. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like the sensationalism and the effects and crazy shit going on. And it's like, what the hell are we doing? So I'm a little worried because I didn't like that. I felt like we peaked in the first 20 minutes and I'm like just kind of sitting there now, like, where do you go? You never want to do that, especially in horror. Horror is about emotions. It's about taking your audience on a journey, right? It's about affecting and your audience psychologically, physiologically, and you don't want to deliver the goods too soon. So, but anyways, I digress. But I didn't mind the trailer. I didn't mind it. I thought, again, it's the last one. It's like, okay, maybe I will be pleasantly surprised and actually really like it. Maybe I will. We'll see what the reviews say. If the reviews for The Conjuring, like, you have to remember too, what were the reviews for the first Conjuring? I want to say 70 something. 70 something? No, 86. Guys, that first The Conjuring was 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you know what I mean? And there's reasons for that. It's not because of the demons. It's not because of the third act of that movie. It has nothing to do with that. The first Conjuring is 86% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Why? An 83% audience score, over 100,000 ratings. Why? Because of the way that it's delivered, the execution of it, the storytelling sensibilities within the confines of the horror genre, right? That slow burn, we were all sitting there on the edges of our seat. We were invested emotionally into the journey that we were on. We weren't delivered everything in the first 15 minutes, and then we're just kind of sitting there waiting for, I don't know, the bus or something. I mean, it was so well, it's like a roller coaster, right? It's like when you're on like a gigantic roller coaster, and you're sitting there going, oh, yeah. That's why if you play your cards right, you can really deliver something that the audiences and the critics, it gives you the best probability that the audience and the critics will really like it. It's not because it has cool effects. It's not but because it took its time, and allowed to build and build. So the experience, horror movies, depending, but horror movies should be experiences. They're experiential, right? And especially great horror movies. Great horror movies are about the experience. And sitting in that theater and watching the first Conjuring was great, right? It felt like a ride, like it's like Poltergeist, back in 82. A different era, I get it, but same kind of thing. It didn't peak too soon, You're on a journey. There's a bit of a character-driven side to Poltergeist, as well, right? And then when you look at, what was The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It? The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It on Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 56%. But surprising, and this is surprising to me, 83% by the audience. That's surprising. With this, I lean towards, I think that's actually appropriate. 56%. I mean, that basically means 5 out of every 10 critics. I mean, it's half, right? It's split. So when you see like a 56%, obviously you don't want to have a 56%, but if you see that just means half the people gave it a good review and half the people didn't. And I would agree with that. Yeah. 56 seems about right. To me, that's how I felt. I didn't hate it. I just was like, meh. You know what I mean? I didn't connect to it the way I wanted to. But there's reasons for that. And so I'm hoping that this is different and that it doesn't peak too soon, and that, Chavez takes a little bit of a page. I mean, you want to have your own style, of course, but, takes a little bit of a page out of Juan's approach, because I think that's most effective when you're doing these kinds of things. It's all about the payoff, not showing so much. But who knows? We'll see. We will see. But listen, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section and let me know your thoughts on The Conjuring, The Conjuring 2, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, the series as a whole. What was your first experience like with The Conjuring? I still think the first Conjuring is still one of the best, popular studio released, general movie-going audience, horror movies of the last 25 years. Because I say that because it was mainstream, right? That's what I'm talking about. I mean, we can talk about like, non-mainstream films that sort of just spring up and that are, really great, right? Like When Evil Lurks and all that kind of stuff. And, there's non-mainstream that usually get picked up by a more mainstream distributor. But The Conjuring was purely studio, it was sort of mass appeal at its finest. But it was great, but you also had a great director in there, right? You know what I mean? You had a guy who understands horror, who came up making horror, who made the inception, the beginning of arguably one of the most successful, famous horror franchises in motion picture history, which is Saw, right? And so, that doesn't mean he's going to be successful in everything he does. I mean, a lot of people didn't like his Malignant. I kind of liked his Malignant, to be honest with you. I liked it. Bruce didn't like it. But yeah, anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, folks. I would really like to know what your thoughts are on that. Now, I don't think any super chats came in as far as I know. I don't believe so. Anyway, let me just see here. I don't think any super chats came in. I don't think so. No, nothing came in. Okay, but feel free. If you want to get them in now, you can. Feel free to do that. Have any questions or you want to talk about the Conjuring Last Rites? I think it's a good title. It's a good title. Or I don't know too much about the story that it's based on. The Smurl. I'll have to look it up and read more about it. Maybe see if I can watch that early 90s TV show, TV movie. But let me know. Josh Stevens, what's going on, Josh? My man, Josh says, totally true. I saw Conjuring 2 under the same circumstances. Opening night, packed theater. It's the way to see horror films. Great experience. Yeah, especially when it's a great horror film. Like, people loved The Conjuring, and when you see a great horror film in the movie theater, and you could say that the first Conjuring is a modern classic, 100%. 100%. And to be able to see that in the theater was, a great experience. I saw the first Saw in the movie theater as well. And that was I had no idea that this was going to turn into a massive franchise. I just thought it was a one and done sort of thing, but I really liked it. Let me scroll down here. Ryan Oslo says, Vera and Patrick have such great chemistry on screen during the course of all three films. Yes. Oh, yeah. No, their chemistry is great. They certainly were not the issue in The Devil Made Me Do It. Tom Ungurian says, I like Conjuring 2 a little more than the first one. Oh, okay. All right. I do like it. I do like it a lot. But I still like the first one the best. Warren Armour says, I really miss the mystery horror thriller. 7 was nothing but story, slow burn, then boom. Third act was unbelievable. Hollywood writing is lazy now. Yeah, well, there's still good films being made, but I know what you mean. We're in the era, and we've been in the era for a while, of IP, franchises and IP, right? Franchises, right? And that's what sells. And just, sequels, requels, reboots, remakes, that kind of stuff. That's why The House on Port Robinson Road. Ooh, you like that segue? All of a sudden, 30 people check out. I'm just busting your balls. But that's why The House on Port Robinson Road is exciting. Now, I know it's more exciting to me than it might be to you because I live with it every day and I can, but it's exciting because it's original. It's original, right? I mean, it's original in the sense that it's not based on any pre-existing property, no pre-existing IP. It is a full-on original horror film. And so very exciting indeed. Super chat just came in from The Violator 862. What's going on, buddy? He says, got the signed poster, Dave. Let's get this to 50%. Oh, did you just do that tonight? Did you do it tonight? Let's jump over to the other screen actually and see what we're doing here. I really appreciate that, man. Oh yes, we're at 31%, folks. I would love to get to 35% by the end of tonight. Now that would be basically 7,000 Canadian. But that might seem like a long way away. You're like, oh, but that's like another like $700 or $800, Dave. Yes, but that is only like another 10 people or 15 people to pick up the bloodbath perk right here. That perk right there. Folks, I really want to sell this out. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is Halloween night, and it's okay if you can't make it because you will have, if you purchase this, you'll have the link. So you'll be able to watch it after the fact. Halloween night, I'm going to sit my ass down and watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills. It's limited to 100 people. We have 25 people who've picked it up already. It's happening Friday night, October 31st, Halloween night. It's a Friday, which is amazing, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But some people have said, oh, Dave, I'd love to pick it up, but I can't because I got something, happening that night. Well, you can still do it. If you want to support the campaign, you can still do it, and you can have the link afterwards. So when you get home that night, you can watch it. I know it's not live, but you're still going to be able to watch it, right? And you can watch it, the next day or the next year. So if you're trick-or-treating with the kids, same thing. So the link is pinned to the top of the chat, folks. I'd love to not sell this out tonight, but I'm just saying I'd love to get people on board with this, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'd love to get to 35% tonight, and it's not hard. It's not hard. Let me see here. Noah Perry picked up signed poster number 2, Dead Speak. Yes, amazing. That's a great poster. And by the way, if you don't follow me on social media, then maybe you've missed it. But if you do, then you already know. I have a special edition concept poster that I will release to the campaign if we can get the campaign to 50% by August 15th. To 50% by August 15th. And now, if we can get to 50% before August 15th, that's great too. I'm just saying that I would love to get there by August the 15th, because that's the halfway mark, right? That's the halfway mark. And that new concept poster is this one right here. Ooh, it's coming in hot, folks. Sorry about that. It's coming in hot. It's a big file. So let me just, you've probably seen it on my social media. 1 second here. Let me just, oh God, this is going to take a bit. Sorry about this, folks. My apologies. I wish there was an easier way to do this. But apparently there isn't. Here we go. We're almost there. Okay, this is concept poster number 3. This is it right there. That's it right there. And I love this. I love this poster. I love this image. It embodies sort of the best of both worlds, right? The elevated horror, the cerebral, psychological horror, but also, you got the house on there as well. And this had been in the works for a while, this concept. If we can get to 50%, if we can get to 50% before the 15th, I will put this on the campaign before the 15th. But if we can get to 50% by August the 15th, so basically that's 2 weeks from now, this is going on the campaign. And this is a great poster. I love this. And it says so much in this poster about, the house on Port Robinson Road, without saying anything at all. So, I would love to put that on the campaign, but again, we got to get to 50% by August 15th. And if we get it there before the 15th, then I will put it up before the 15th. But tonight, I want to get to 35%. I want to get to 35% tonight, which I think would be great. That basically means that we have to see 7,000 Canadian dollars there. So you think to yourself, well, that's like another $700, Dave. Like, I don't have I'm not asking you to. I'm asking people to come in low, right? Pick up a t-shirt, pick up a concept poster, or for goodness sakes, let's sell this out. Not tonight, but look, there's 70 people in the room right now. There's got to be 10 Halloween fans, right? Are there 10 Halloween fans right now that could get us close? Are there 10 Halloween fans right now? Like, you know what? All right, Dave, I'll do it. I'll go to the campaign. I'll hit the link at the top of the chat. I'll go to the campaign. I want to hang out with you. Or maybe I'll watch it. Whatever the case is, Dave, no problem, right? It's got to be 10 of you guys, right? At least 10. I'd really appreciate it. Because 35% is a good place. Because again, it's been a little slow over the last few days. That's okay. I'm not too worried yet. But if we're at only 35 or 40%, 6 weeks in, then I would be concerned, because it's kind of like, we only have 2 weeks left and 60% to make up, right? And so I'm always out there reminding people, being that little bird, in your ear, just kind of all, because I got to do it. Because if I don't do it, nobody's going to do it. So, I apologize apologize in advance if you're kind of, oh my God, he's talking about this again. I have to, because if are you going to? I have to, because if I don't do it, nobody will do it, right? And so I got to talk about it, get it out there, because these are the development funds. These are the funds that are going to put us in a position where we will actually be able to seek financing and make this movie. So it's very, very, very exciting in that regard. So let's again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Let's see if we can get close to 35%. Maybe 3 or 4 people pick up the bloodbath perk. One picks up a poster, a t-shirt. Let's see if we can get close. That would be really cool. Josh McKenna sends in $9.99. Thank you, Josh, and says, why do movies now come out on Thursday? If a movie comes out on August 8th, it really means it comes out on the 7th at 7 a lot of the time. More money. It's a chance to make more money. That's why. It's just an excuse to make more money. So a 3-day weekend becomes a 4-day weekend, or a 4-day weekend becomes a 5-day weekend. There's other reasons, but that's a big reason why. A big reason why. Warren Armour says, yes, Dave, thank you for Port Robinson Road. Well, I haven't made anything yet, but I that's my goal. Finally, an original without predictable storylines. This may be a stupid question, but are you going to show original footage during during the credits? Oh, that's it. I thought you were going to say during the movie. During the movie, no. A reminder as well, because I want to piggyback off of what you said there. The House on Port Robinson Road is not a found footage movie, just so people know. I know it's based on it's inspired by a real experience from my life where we did take 8 millimeter camcorder, but this is not a found footage movie. It's a full-on live action narrative film, showing stuff from the, possibly, quite possibly. I wouldn't rule it out. But I wouldn't rule it indefinitely either. But you never know. But yeah, no, it is. It's an original horror film, and it takes 2 familiar elements, which are college-aged characters, and a haunted, abandoned farmhouse. Those are familiar horror elements that we've seen before, but it marries them together in a way that I don't think you have seen before. And so, like I said, it's got the mood and the atmosphere and the environment and the setting, the eeriness and the creepiness and the suspense of something like, The Others and The Witch and Longlegs and The Night House. I don't mean those stories. I just mean that feeling, that mood and that atmosphere. And then it's also got the emotional undercurrent of awe and wonder with something like Contact or Arrival. You know what I mean? Not the Charlie Sheen one, the Denis Villeneuve one, right? Not saying it's at that scope, but I just mean it's, got that sort of emotional undercurrent, right? And so I don't think it's something that's, I'm not going to say that it's never been done. I mean, I don't know every movie in the world, but it's certainly not the usual fare that you get with this kind of thing. So it is original in that sense. And I'm very excited. Like I said, I mean, I don't mean to I shouldn't have to apologize, but I just know that it's a hard sell where we are because it's a development campaign. So there is no movie at the end of this campaign, right? I'm asking you to believe in the vision, believe in this stage, and I'm hoping that the credibility that I've been able to gain and the trust that I've been able to gain over the course of the previous campaigns with the Billy films at least goes a long way and shows that I'm a man of my word. I mean what I say. I will deliver, and not just deliver something that's, again, I can't guarantee that you're going to like any movie I make, but in terms of the Billy films, I promised, high professionally produced production value, real films. And that's what you got. And so, and hopefully everybody, most people I think enjoyed them. And so it's the same thing here. But this is development. So it's a harder sell, right? I'm asking people to believe in me more now than ever, believe in the vision now more than ever, because I'm very excited about it. Very, very excited about it. And so again, if I can get, I know it's a tougher sell, so my expectations are in check. I would love to get to 35%. I'd feel really good going into the weekend at 35% because I really want to be at 40% by next Tuesday. That's 3 weeks in. It's going fast, folks. It's going fast. That means there's only 5 weeks left after next week. So it's going really, really fast. And if, again, I need more than 20,000 for development, but I've set the goal at 20,000 because I figure that's a nice sort of low goal so we can get the campaign into in demand and then raise funds how we see fit. And then I won't be on here every day going, I just need to get this into in demand so there's some breathing room for us, right? And that's really important. So, yeah. Kyle, hey, what's going on, Kyle? Thanks for the super chat. Says, just picked up the Bloodbath perk for myself. Can I purchase a second one for you to gift to a person of your choice? Yes, you can, because Mendel Goodman picked up 2, which I have to gift, which I will eventually do. So yes, you can, dude. Absolutely. 100%. That's so nice of you, man. 100% you can. Did you just do that now or earlier? Oh, nice. Okay, we're like $6 away from 32%. This is great. I love you guys. You guys are stepping up. I love it. Look at that. 44 days left, folks. Hey, that was just at 61 days like 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? It's moving fast, guys. It's moving fast. You think you got a lot of time, and then you realize, holy shit, I don't. We're $6 away from 32%. A few people already picked up some stuff. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And yes, you can gift one for sure. Let me see here. We got Noah picked up the Bloodbath perk. Kyle picked up the Bloodbath perk. Absolutely, Kyle. If you want to pick up another one, you can. They're very affordable, by the way, as well. I mean, that's one of the perks on there. Look, it's a Halloween perk. We're all Halloween fans here, and it's totally in that affordable range. Now, money's tight. World's crazy. If you can't afford it, if it's, between the Halloween perk and putting food on the table for your children, you absolutely put the food on the table for your children. Of course, that's a no-brainer. But it's still very affordable, right? It's $50 Canadian, but it's only about $36 US. And it's even less if you're in the UK. It's like 25 pounds. So absolutely affordable. Halloween night, Bloodbath double feature. Some people have asked me, well, why these 2 movies? Like maybe you would have an easier time selling out if you picked the original Halloween and Halloween 4. And I'm like, well, you know what? That's probably true. You are absolutely probably right on that. But last Halloween, I just did a 6-hour watch along. Darren Sands of The Slaughtered Lamb joined me for the first 2 films. You guys probably, remember. And that wasn't for any perk. That wasn't for any reason. That was just me sitting down for free doing that. And that was for the original Halloween, Halloween 2, and Halloween 4. And so I thought, I want to change it up a bit. So when I was thinking of this perk and I was thinking of what to do, I looked online, what are the 2 most bloodiest, violent films in the Halloween franchise? And I thought that Halloween Kills, would be up there, but it is. But then I found out that it's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and I thought, oh well, people are gonna love to watch me just tear Rob Zombie. Hey, let's do it. So that's why. So the reason why it's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and Halloween Kills is for no other reason than because they are the 2, according to body count, gore, blood, all that. They are the 2 most violent and bloodiest of all the Halloween films. But it's limited to 100 people. And I think there's now, we might have maybe 72 left. Sounds like a lot, but it goes fast, folks. It goes fast. Friday night, and again, if you're trick-or-treating, if you're taking the kids, if you at a party, at a function, you can still pick it up and watch it after the fact. Like it doesn't, like the link will remain in your possession forever because you purchased it. So you can watch it whenever you want, however times you want. So if you're busy Halloween night, and you still want to pick it up, you can. You absolutely can. So don't let that deter you. And the only reason why I say that is because I've had a few people say, I would love to pick it up, but unfortunately, I'm busy that night. Now, maybe for them, it's, well, if I'm not going to watch it live, then what's the point? Well, the point is you're supporting the campaign and you still get the show, right? It might not be live, but you still get it and you still get to watch all the crazy shenanigans that's going to happen and it's the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, ultimately. But yeah, so And there's lots of other things on there too. The November Files. Again, a reminder, the November Files are top tier perks on this. And I don't mean like top tier, like thousands of dollars. The November Files is all the original photos that I took at the house on Port Robinson Road. Like, this is behind the curtain to the real story. The November Files Plus, you get everything in the November Files, which is a video of all of the photos and my narration. The November Files Plus is the audio. You get the audio, and it's not just the Don't EVP. It's like, a lot of crazy shit that we have on tape. You get that in a video format with my narration and insights and anecdotes and all this kind of stuff you get. And these aren't like 30-second vids. These are like in-depth vids. You get a link to that as well. There's the November Files Platinum Edition, which is you get everything in the November Files and the November Files Plus, but also you get the video footage, the 8mm camcorder video footage you get. So you get to see the actual house. You get to hear me walking through the house with a fellow friend of mine who's talking to me about a little girl he saw dancing. Oh, yeah. I'm not fucking making this shit up. Like, you will get to see all this shit. And not the girl dancing, but I mean, you get to hear him like fucking dead serious reciting this shit, scared out of his mind. And you get all kinds of stuff, and so you get all that. Then there's the November Files Legacy tier. That's like our executive producer tier, from the previous, that's the top tier, the November Files Legacy tier. And in that tier, you get everything in all the other November Files tiers, but you also get a private link to a live stream like this, a live stream with me and a few of my college friends. Oh yeah, talking about the real experience at the house on Port Robinson Road. And it's a Q&A. You get to ask questions. We talk about the stories and back and forth and stuff. And you also get your name etched. I say etched, but it's not digitally etched on a founder wall on a house on Port Robinson Road founder wall on my official website, DaveMcCraeOfficial.com. The link to my website is in the description. The page is not there yet, but it will be there. And because I do have a website, obviously, for those of you that may not know that, DaveMcCraeOfficial.com. And so it will go there. And that's if you pick up the Legacy tier. And we've had one person pick up the Legacy tier, which is amazing. And so there's great shit on there. Like, especially if you're into the supernatural, the paranormal, like those ghost hunting shows, ghost adventure shows, if you're really into that stuff, the Legacy File tiers, any of them, like the top tier gets you all of it, but any of them might be right up your alley. I'm just saying, like, there's some good shit on there. And I need to explain that because most people are going to be like, what the hell is this November? I call it the November Files because the real story began in November 2000 and the film for which the story is based on takes place in November 2000. So I thought calling it the November Files, would be a good name for the perk. But yeah, there's great stuff in there. And then again, like I said, if we can get this campaign to 50%, by August 15th, hypothetically, if we did it tonight, I'm not saying we're going to do it tonight, but hypothetically, if we did, then this poster would go up onto the campaign tonight to purchase. It is awesome. This is an amazing concept poster. I love this. I love the design. I love the look. Obviously, I know the story, so I'm like, yes. It's got that surreal, cerebral, but it's still got that accessible to general movie-going audience, but you can tell that this is a little something more. This isn't your everyday sort of haunted house film, right? And so I love it. And that's our special edition concept poster. And if we can get to 50% of the campaign before August 15th, or by August 15th, we'll say, so 2 weeks from today, essentially, that's going to go up onto the campaign to purchase as well. And trust me, it's a great image. I posted it all across social media recently as well. So yeah, cool stuff. But yeah, absolutely. A super chat came in. Lost Boy Boyus, $5. Thanks, buddy. Says Jamie Lee Curtis posted on Instagram Halloween 2007 poster and said Sherry and Rob Zombie came up to her and talked at an airport. She was actually pleased. Sorry. Jamie Lee Curtis posted on Instagram Halloween 2007 poster, right? And said Sherry and Rob Zombie came up to her at an airport, I guess, and talked to her, and she was actually pleased. Oh, well, that's cool. That's a cool, I guess they might have maybe talked about Halloween '07 or something like that or whatever. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Evil Die. Yeah, who doesn't want to watch, guys, who doesn't want to watch Halloween Kills with me on Halloween night eating fucking candy? You know what I mean? Or again, even if you're busy, watching after the fact. Evil Die, guys, we're going to have so much fun with these two movies. You have no idea. It's Halloween night. We're going to be having munchies and candy and watching Halloween Kills and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. It's going to be like a 4.5-hour stream. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And it goes to a good cause. You help to support the Development Funds campaign for the house on Port Robinson Road. Limited to 100 people. How many have we, let me just see here. How many have we sold already on the campaign? 27. Oh, let me do a big, hang on. Let me do a bit of a refresh. We've sold, hang on. Oh no, we've sold, still 27. 29. Oh, we've sold 29. Oh, hang on a sec. That means we've gone up. That means, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. What just happened? Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. 7,464. What just happened? We just went from 31% to 37%. Just like that. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Holy snap and crap. We are going to take a look to see who that was. That is unbelievable. All of you, these are the Mcrae stepping up saying, no, fuck you. We're doing live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. That's what this is, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. I had to blink several times. I'm like, wait, what? No, what? Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Holy snapping crap. 7,464 Canadian shekels. It's going to look a bit lower to you in the States, of course, because you're looking at it in US funds. But oh my God, I mean, we just jumped from 31% to 37%. We hit the goal I wanted to be on the weekend. I wanted to be at 40% by next Tuesday, and now it is looking like we will. Now I've got to go and I got to see what the hell just happened here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just see what has happened. I'm refreshing the page. By the way, everybody who donates to the campaign will get a social media shout out. When I shout you out here live on the show, that's not your like official social media shout out, although maybe it's even better than a social media shout out. But just so you know that's not, I will do at the 1 month mark, I'm going to take all the names of everybody that have donated already and do like a nice big sort of social media shout out to everybody. So that will happen. Let me just see here. So we've got unbelievable. So we've got, oh, hang on a sec. Let me just do this. We have got, okay. So did we go up again? I think we might've gone up again, or maybe I missed that. We did go up again. We did. 7,464. Unbelievable. So we've got Juan Rivera. Juan Rivera. Picking up the Bloodbath double feature. I will see you there, you son of a bitch. I love it. Josh Stevens. Josh Stevens, amazing. Just picked up the November Files Legacy. He just picked up the November. Unbelievable. Josh going hard into Josh has been one of our great supporters. I mean, everybody is a great supporter, but Josh has been one of those cheerleaders. He's like, I want to fucking see this movie, man. I don't care what I got to do. I got to strip naked in Times Square. And I don't care what. Oh no, he didn't say that, but I'm just saying an amazing supporter, putting it all out there saying, I want to see this. 100%. Josh has been so excited about Thopper. He's the one that came up with Thopper, by the way, the acronym for the house on Port Robinson Road, THOPRR, Thopper. Unbelievable. Picked up, I'm losing my voice. I was losing my voice actually earlier in the week. I think it's allergies or something. But anyway, now I'm really losing it. Just picked up the Legacy. Amazing. The November Files Legacy perk. Unbelievable, Josh. Unbelievable. And then we got Shane Dentinger. Is that how you say that? Dentinger? Excuse me. Bloodbath double feature. Amazing. Thank you, Shane. And then Kyle picked up another one that will be donated to somebody as well. That will definitely come. That's going to come probably towards the end of the campaign. But unbelievable. Wow. Holy snapping crap, ladies and gentlemen. I am continuously humbled and continuously, not continuously. Continuously is never stopping. Continually is on a regular basis. I think I've got that right. I am continually humbled by this. It is truly an amazing experience because, again, folks, what makes this truly amazing, what makes this momentum amazing is how clear I've been about everything. You know, again, I would love to be able to raise the production budget crowdfunding, right? But this is going to be probably a $2 or $3 or $4 million movie. And I can't do that via crowdfunding alone. And so, and the reason why I would love to do it, unless you're Chris Stuckman, who's got like 3 million subscribers, who raised like $1.5 million on Kickstarter. But, you know, I would love to be able to raise that all on my own, of course, because then I get full creative control over everything. But it's not likely. So what's more likely is I'm going to eventually be partnering with either a studio, production company, a couple of production companies. You know, I mean, in indie films at this, you know, money tends to come from multiple sources: grants, investors, studios, production companies, co-productions, you know, things like that. And I knew that, which is why I didn't launch a big campaign asking for $3.5 million. But in order to get it there, in order to get it to that stage, I knew that I needed development money, right? And that's a real thing. It's a real thing. But I remember I talked to Bruce about it, and I talked to other people about it. And I remember thinking, you know, I mean, my viewers, the community, I mean, they're amazing. I mean, you guys are fucking amazing. If it wasn't for you, those Billy films wouldn't exist, literally. But I'm like, this is going to be a harder sell. You know, it's going to be a harder sell. Because there isn't a movie at the end. It's not like we raise the money and then I go make the movie, right? It's not the same as, you know, the other campaigns. This is so I can really get the pitch package into top tier form, figure out how much it is going to cost. That's one of the things that we need. I need to hire a line producer so we can go through it and get actuals, so that when we are in a position of meetings with, you know, production companies, studios, we know when they say how much you think this is going to cost, I have the numbers there. All of that, getting a name on board. There's one character in particular in this film that could go to a name actor. I don't mean an A-list star. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down, but you know, it depends on who it is. But somebody like a name that you, you know, getting them to sign on board, which would only help the pitch, right? And so that money is development money, right? And so, and it shows real momentum. And having a successful development campaign also shows, because I don't know if you guys thought of this either, the fact that if we can get this campaign into in demand, it also, although it's only 20 grand, we have two previous campaigns of $220,000. It shows belief in me as a filmmaker. It shows my connection to the horror community. And it shows belief in this project here. Producers pay attention to that. People look at that. They go, well, there's something here. People want this. People are donating to this. They clearly want this. There's interest here, right? So it really does. I mean, having all of our ducks in a row, having everything successful and firing on all cylinders really shows. The last thing you want is to go to the table with a campaign that only raised $6, because then it's like, well, I know you want to make this movie, Mr. Mcrae, but nobody else seems to want you to make it, right? You know what I'm saying? Whereas when we can have successful crowdfunding campaigns, that shows that there's, although small, because obviously we're not it shows that there's a little bit of a demand here. There's a community here. There's a demand here. These fans want to see this. So if these fans here want to see this with the right team behind this, with the right marketing behind this, there may be something here. You know what I mean? So these successful campaigns, you know, they do, it looks good. It looks good as me as a producer, as a filmmaker, and in my ability to rally a community and raise funds to make a film. And that looks good. That looks good, especially when you're talking to, you know, the big boys. And so, anyways, I just wanted to say that it never ceases to amaze me how you guys are so awesome. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Did I miss any super fast forwards? 29 $4.99. Thanks, buddy. Says, what's up, Dave? Great poster. Thank you. Thank you. I'll definitely pick one up. I got your second poster already. This one would look great next, but for sure, all of them would look great. All of them would look great. I mean, I totally understand why the one with the house is selling more because it's got the house on it and it looks cool. I totally get it. But all of them would look gay. Excuse me. Would look great. You know, the profile of the woman, that more cerebral, kind of mysterious, what is this all about? And then the one with that gritty sort of house one, you know, and then this one right here, you know, that one right there would look great next to that as well, right? Like you have, all of them are selling all of them are truthful to the vibe of what this film is and what this story is. But there are three different ways to illustrate that. And with three different feels to it, right? And that's what's so cool about these three different concept posters. But this one is great. Yeah, a lot of people really love this one. And I did too. I did, and I created it. I created all the posters. I've created all the posters, actually. The Billy ones and this one as well. It took me a long time because I was trying to, you know, it took me several months to finally finish on something like this. And a lot of, you're tweaking, you're polishing, and all this kind of stuff. But I love it. I love it. It's a great poster. I think I did it in Photoshop, obviously, and my PSD file's got like, I think there's like 14 or 15 layers in this poster. There's quite a few layers. Anyway, did I miss any super chats? I don't think so. Josh, I don't know if Josh is still in the chat, but Josh, amazing, buddy. Amazing. Thank you so much. Picking up that legacy tier, like just awesome. Is putting us so close. And I saw, I think it was Tom Hungarian said, can we get to 40% tonight? Dude, I'd love to get to 40% tonight. I don't know if we're going to, but I'd love, we are at 7,514. We're at 37%. Unbelievable. Again, I want to be at 40% by Tuesday because that's 3 weeks in, right? And then like 50% by halfway. Like I'm thinking like 10%, and then, but if we can get there quicker, and it also, and I don't just say this, it looks good for Indiegogo because Indiegogo shares campaigns and it will elevate us on the when our campaign is doing well and doing well early. It shows, what does it show? Interest, engagement. People are curious about it, right? And so, yeah, geez, even if we could get to 8,000 tonight, that would be, that would be 40, that would be 40%. Yeah. Even if we don't, I'm very happy where we are. But fuck it. Let's keep going. Josh McKenna sends in a member chat. Thank you, Josh, and says, do you think it's possible for an actor to have a resurgence in their career after a difficult life? I see Lindsay Lohan in several commercials and Netflix movies recently. 100 for sure they can. Yep. Audiences are very forgiving, depending on what it is, of course. I mean, if you're a P word with children, probably not. But if you just, you had a tough life because of drugs or alcohol, or, you shoplifted like Winona Ryder did, people are less forgiving if it's more personal, like it's a drug addiction. I mean, look at Robert Downey Jr., right? If it's alcohol, if you beat the shit out of women, that makes your road that makes your road harder. Not that it's impossible, but it does make the road harder. But there's lots of actors, filmmakers. I mean, look at Mel Gibson, right? Lots of people have recouped and come back. Audiences are very forgiving, and they're very forgiving because, in large part, there's a disconnect between Hollywood and the general population, right? There's still like they're almost not real, right? You know what I mean? And you tend to forgive more easily than say you would like your brother, because there's so many, it's like a larger than life personality. It's like, it doesn't almost feel real. Their lives don't feel real, so people tend to forgive easier. But yeah, no, there's 100%, but not everybody. Not everybody. Chris Brown, yeah, no, hey, don't come back again. Let me see here. So I got the member chat. I didn't miss any super chats. I don't think. I just want to make sure I didn't. Fast forwards, Lost Boys. Kyle, just pick up the bloodbath. Got that. Okay, cool. Very cool. Unbelievable, folks. Can we get to 40% tonight? Hey, that's less than 500 Canadian dollars. That is literally 10 people. It's probably not going to happen, but that would be 10 people picking up the bloodbath perk. If 10 people picked up the blood, or if 5 people picked up the bloodbath perk and a couple others picked up a few other things, we do it. But we'll see. What's the time? It's only, God, I thought it was later than that. Tom Hungarian says, Dave, if I purchased a second double feature, is there any way you can gift it to Ryan for me? Ryan's been a huge supporter for a long time, and I want to do the favor. I'll purchase one a week after that. Sure. No, of course. Just what you need to do then is to send me a DM, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook. That's the best way. So I can keep track of this, because what's going to happen is that as long as they're purchased at the end of the campaign, so in September, that's when I will give them out. Because I don't want to give them out now, because if I give them out now, it might deter people. Do you know what I mean? And so, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I should give them out now so people don't. Yeah, no, it's the other way around. But anyways, DM me so I can keep track of who's purchased what for somebody else, and who you would like it to go to. And then I will try and get in contact with that person and put them on the list of people that I need to email the private link to. Yeah. No, but feel free to do that. The audio is wonky. My audio is wonky. It might be my voice, dude. Hang on a sec. It sounds good to me. It might be my voice, because I've lost my voice over the last couple of days. It might be my voice. Oh, it won't. Oh, really? Oh, well, let me hang on a sec. Sorry. How's this? Did that change it? I wonder why it did that. That's weird. Let me know if that had an effect, if that changed it at all. Let me know. Oh. Hello. Test. Let me know if this took care of it. I was having a bit of an audio issue last night on Two Dudes as well. Are you guys there? It says I'm still live. Yeah, it says I'm still live. Well, while I'm waiting for people to let me know, Daz says Robert Downey Jr. made a comeback with Iron Man. He worked for cheap and now one of Hollywood's biggest stars. It's true. Yep. 100%. We did get another purchase. Who was that? Oh, maybe that was the 80. Let's see who that was. We've got, Josh McKenna donated $20. Thank you, Josh. Really appreciate that, buddy. Josh is great. He's always, throwing little bits here, little bits there. Love it. Every little bit helps, right? It adds up, right? It adds up. So I appreciate that, Josh. Thank you. It lagged a little, but you're okay. You sound fine to me. Oh, okay. That's weird because I was lagging. Maybe it's an OBS thing because I was lagging. I had a bit of that issue with Tony on yesterday's show. Okay. Now let me go back to the other screen. And is it happening here or has it resolved itself? Because I'm wondering if it's just this screen. That's what I'm wondering. Tom says, I'm not on social media though, so I'm going to figure this out. Well, if you want, you can go to my official website, davemcraeofficial.com, go to the contact page and email me there. Email me through my website on the contact page, which is davemcraeofficial@gmail.com. But you can email me there. And when I see it come in, I'll know what it's about. if you're not on social media. It's just so I can keep track of who's purchased, because at the end of the day, I mean, you know, as long as it's been purchased, yeah, I will gift however many you want. I mean, you could purchase 10 and I'll gift 10 if you want. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? As long as they're purchased, right? Then it's all good. It's all good. But look at that, man. Unbelievable. I wanted to be at 35% by Friday. We're at 37%. We're less than $500 away. We're literally $460 away from 40%, which is where I wanted to be by Tuesday. Is it possible to get there tonight? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll see. We'll see. That was amazing, though. Says it's okay now. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. Let me see. Let me go back and just see what others are saying here. Juan Rivera says, I've been riding with you, Dave, since 2017 when you first started the Halloween videos. You're a good dude, man, and hope you fulfill your dream. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. And you guys are, you know, making it happen. Like I said, I mean, yeah, it's a development campaign, so it's not like the Billy ones where there's a movie at the end of it. But that doesn't make your support less significant. Do you know what I mean? It might feel like it's less exciting, and it might feel like that, but it actually isn't. It's just as important, because without a properly, you know, not curated, but a properly built pitch package, lookbook, pitch, you know, this, without that, which is what development funds are going towards, all of that, and maybe, you know, a name actor on board and all that kind of stuff. Without that, you know, it's a harder sell, right? It's not impossible, but it's a harder sell. And so the goal, especially as indie filmmakers, the goal is to make it so attractive, you know, the script, the lookbook, the pitch deck, you know, having a name actor on board, maybe, you know, we've gone through the script. We know how much it's going to cost. We've broken it all down. We have a legal team, you know, we're hiring this person. We've got concept art. We're doing this, that, and the other. And so that whoever we meet with, you know, wants to get in on it. It's like, yeah, I'll put up $500,000 towards this. Yeah, I'll put up $500,000 toward this. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's all about, right? And so this stage, it might not seem as glitzy, it might not seem as glamorous, but it's incredibly important. It's incredibly important. And the fact that we're nearly 40% in 2.5 weeks in is again, it's a smaller goal. Sure, it's 20,000, which should be able to be achieved, but it's also a less exciting goal to the average person. Because I have had people reach out to me, you know, and say things like, you know, well, I don't, you know, what is this all about? What is this development? I don't understand why you're phrasing it that way. What's all about? So I've had to explain it, and they're like, you know, because, you know, there's no Blu-rays, there's no names and credits, there's no producer perks. I totally get it. But anybody who knows movies and knows the business of films and who are filmmakers would be looking at this and looking what I'm doing here and going, yeah, that's smart. Like that. No, he's bang on. Like he's like, I know what he's doing, you know? And so, I mean, you will be able to one day look at the house on Port Robinson Road and be like, I help make that. I help not like make the actual film, but I mean, you helped birth it. And it's true. Like you could turn to your friend or to your wife or your girlfriend and go, see that movie there? Yeah. The one we're about to watch on Netflix. Yeah. I actually helped in the development of that. What do you mean you helped in the development of that? Well, the director, he was running a crowdfunding campaign and I donated to it. And the money he took from it helped to build his, you know, pitch package and production, all that kind of stuff. Really? Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm serious. Like that's actually really cool, man. That's really cool. I mean, I think it's cool, but yeah. Alex Shambach says, Dave, curious of your thoughts on Stuckman's film coming up. I'm curious. The recently poster releases reminds me of the house from your eventual film. Looks eerie and atmospheric. Well, like I've said, right? You know, the two things in the house on Port Robinson Road that are familiar elements are the haunted farmhouse and, you know, but that's kind of where it ends. I haven't seen the poster. I'm rooting for the guy. I'm rooting for him. You know, I think his story is incredible. And if it is successful and it does well, and it doesn't need to, you know, but if it's successful and does well, he's obviously going to make another movie. And so I'm rooting for him. I hope it's really good. I really do. I hope it's scary and it's creepy and it's eerie. And I don't know if I'll get to the theater to see it. Maybe. But definitely I am watching with curious eyes because if it does well, it bodes well for me and for us. I say us, right? Because, we're doing this thing here with the development funds together. So it bodes well for us. Anytime independent horror, truly independent horror, can, fight its way over years and years and years and become successful, that is really good for independent horror. And so I'm rooting for it, man. I mean, the Terrifier films may not be my cup of tea, but I don't want them to fail. I want them to succeed because it's good for all indie horror, right? I mean, so amazing. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. Tom Hungarian says, I'll purchase at least 5 to gift them out. 5 tonight or 5 in general? If you purchase 5 tonight, dude, that would be wild because that would mean that we would be nearly at 40%. But if you just mean that's totally fine too. And that's fine. That's fine. You just have to send me an email with maybe the people you want me to gift them to. And then I'll be able to do that. You know what I mean? But as long as they're purchased, I'm okay with that. Like as long as we get to our goal, right? You know what I mean? I mean, if one person wants to buy the next 60, I'm okay with that. Now that might suck for somebody who was planning to buy one and they don't actually get gifted to it. So, but anyways, but yeah, no, I mean, if you want to purchase a few and gift them out, that's totally fine too. Backtrack Cinema, what's going on? Backtrack Cinema says, Dave, you're a big inspiration. I finally cracked down and I'm writing a full-length script that I'm quite passionate about. Amazing, Jason. I wish you the best of luck, man. I wish you the best of luck. I love to hear it. Tabitha, one of our great moderators, says, in case I'm not back in time, putting the kids to bed. Have a good night, everyone. Bye, Dave. See you, Tabitha. Yeah, I'm going to be off here in about another 7 or 8 minutes or so because my voice, too, is it's going crazy. Member Chad from Fast Forwards 29 says, do you plan on adding many more perks as time goes on, or is it more just as it comes to you? Also, I know I sound like a broken record, but was wondering if you saw Dark Knight of the Scarecrow yet. Thanks. I haven't seen it yet, buddy. I haven't. I've got to watch it. Well, this special edition poster, again, if we can hit 50% before August 15th, it doesn't matter. If we hit 50% tomorrow, it'll go on the campaign. But as soon as we hit 50% on the campaign, this special edition third concept poster will go up. But this was in the works for a while, so I was planning this. There's a few other things, like a few other ideas that I have in mind, but it's tricky because, again, it's a development funds campaign. So there's only so much I can put up there. Do you know what I mean? And I'm trying to limit as best as I can the physical perks. There's physical perks on there. T-shirts, posters, the Port Robinson Road street sign. Of course, there's physical perks on there. But I don't want to have too many because obviously then that means that's stuff I have to get made, stuff I have to ship out and all that, and you have to budget for that, right? So it's very different from the Billy campaigns, which were production budget campaigns. I mean, we had a cast on board already. We had, a crew on board already. I mean, it was just a matter of raising the funds and then we were immediately greenlit, right? This is very, very different. This is a different thing. This is even before that stage. And so this is very, very early, like true inception, true birth, of a IP, of an IP. And so, I would say that I have a few ideas, but nothing crazy. Just simply by virtue of the kind of campaign it is, right? Which is why I added, I added the bloodbath perk, right? Because I thought, well, that's a perfect perk. Like, we're all Halloween fans. We should be able to sell that out. It's not that expensive. I mean, I get it. I mean, it might be expensive for somebody, and I totally get that, but it's only about $36, right? US, right? And so we should be able to sell that out. And that alone, if we sell that out, that's $5,000 Canadian right there. right? And that's just a digital perk, right? And so I'm trying to be strategic and, because I want to have as much money in the account as possible to be able to hire the line producer, my legal team. Lawyers are not cheap, okay? I know because we worked with them on It's Me Billy Chapter 2. So lawyers are not cheap, and I want to have enough there to be able to hire or to work with my lawyer who we worked with on It's Me Billy Chapter 2. And I want to be able to, have that in place, not worry about that. And I want to have enough funds in there to be able to hire somebody for concept art. And if we can hit our stretch goals, right? Like say we hit 30K, well, now maybe I can think about, maybe I can start reaching out to, maybe looking to get a name on board or say, do you know what I mean? So it's important shit. It's important shit. And, but I have to be strategic about what perks there are, how much, like what is the perk, how much is it going to cost to manufacture it and ship it? Because that means I have to price it like appropriately, right? You know what I mean? Because I need to make money off of that as well, right? So, and this is nothing new when it comes to, crowdfunding and perks, but those are things, you have to think about. And with the Billy campaigns, it was a little different because we were raising so much money and allocating so much. We were sort of in a rhythm. We knew what we were doing. With development funds, it's a little trickier. It's a little trickier. There's no Blu-rays, there's no producer perks, right? So it's a little trickier, but equally as important nonetheless. So. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. And just the fact that, you guys are stepping up is amazing. And like I've said, Josh Stevens, one of our great supporters, right? He dropped a bomb tonight. And sometimes people drop bombs. They drop bombs. But always remember, and I say this just because of the psychology of it, always remember that crowdfunding campaigns, and this is no different than the Billy, campaigns as well. Yes, we had 3 executive producers, which means 3 people stepped up and delivered $8,000 Canadian alone, right? About $5.5, $6,000 US. That's amazing. And of course, we want those people to step up and do that too, of course. But at the end of the day, campaigns are fought and won in the trenches. Right? They're fought and won by people picking up the bloodbath perk, selling out 100 of those, right? 100 people coming in at $36. Do you know what I mean? People picking up t-shirts and posters and, donating $30 here, $50 there, that's what it is, right? A lot of people coming in on the lower tiers. And then every now and then you get the bombs, right? Our heavyweights that come in that can afford to do it, to be able to come in and just sweeten it, to help us out, right? Okay, you know what? Boom, and hey, all right, you know what I'm saying? And it's a whole team thing. So if you're sitting there thinking, I can't afford, the November files, I'm not going to bother. Hey, you could pick up just a social media thank you, which is like $7. It might not seem like a lot, but if, 200 people picked up that, it goes a long way. My voice is going. But it goes a long way, right? And so, it just, and it was no different. Like I said, Billy Chapter 1, Billy Chapter 2, same thing. Yes, we had heavyweights that came in and delivered bombs. And you remember that, right? Of course. But the vast majority of the funds came from everybody fighting in the trenches. And this is no different, right? It's no different. So I just want to remind people of that. Like, don't be discouraged or deterred if you're like, I can't. Hey, if 10 people tonight picked up, just 10 people, if just 10 people right now picked up the bloodbath perk, this perk right here, that perk, if just 10 people did that this very second right now, we'd be at 40%. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how easy it is. Like, really, it's that easy, right? You know what I mean? It's incredible. So that's what it's really all about. But anyways, Fast forwards 29. All good, Dave. I think you'll enjoy it. One reason I have bought more is because I'm waiting to see. I haven't bought more because I'm waiting to see what all ends up on there. Thanks, bud, and good luck. No worries at all. No worries at all. Like I said, I don't think there'll be too much more, if any, because again, the kind of campaign it is. But this one, I really want to get up there. I want to get that concept poster up there, and that will be up on the campaign once we hit 50%. If we can hit 50% between now and August 15th, that's going up. And that's going to be a doozy to have. And I think there'll be a signed version as well. Like I'll sign it as well. All right. Let me see here. Let me just, Modern Peasant says it looks generic as hell. I'm talking about the Conjuring trailer. Day film sounds bad. Oh, okay. Some people might have been like, really? No problem. Edward Nito, what's going on, buddy? Sends in $5. Thank you. Says, we're here for you, Dave. I picked up the Bloodbath perk earlier this week. You did. I saw that, man. I saw that. Oh, it's amazing. I mean, again, the outreach of support for a development campaign. Like even some of the people I've talked to in the industry, fellow friends, are like, dude, you're killing it. I'm like, yeah, you think so? Like, dude, it's a development campaign. Like, it really shows the community's really, there's no movie at the end of this campaign, but they believe in you and your vision. That's huge, right? And that's why it's so important to reach our goal, because that's going to look good for investors as well. Because investors are going to look not just at this, but they're going to look at the 2 Billy campaigns, and they're going to look at that. And yes, of course, it's not millions of dollars raised, but it's several $100,000 raised. And they're going to look at that and they're going to think, well, if that's several $100,000 raised, there might be something here. Like, this guy's got a following. He's got social media. He's got that. We can use that to our advantage. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it always looks good when I can have 3 successful crowdfunding campaigns in a row. That's going to be huge. It's huge. It's going to be huge. Thank you, Edward. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. But yeah. But anyway. So that will likely do it for me here tonight because I have to rest my voice. But I just want to say thank you. Again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Every little bit helps. I'd love to get to 40% by the end of tonight. I wanted to be there by the end of Tuesday, of course, but we were so close. I thought, maybe. I mean, it's only another $460. Just 10 people picking up that will do it. But I'm very happy with where we are right now. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to each and every one of you out there, again, who is continuing to step up, continuing to support, and believes in this project and in this vision. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. As soon as we hit 50% on the campaign before August 15th, that's the goal, though. I want to get there before August 15th, because that would be, we're a month in, and if we're not at 50% by a month, I'd be starting to get a little worried. So, but nonetheless, that's where we got to be, and that concept poster is going to go up on the campaign. So, folks, you are all amazing. Thank you so much. If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on anything I had to say here today, but of course, about the main topic as well, the Conjuring Last Rites. Let me know your thoughts. I'd like to know, are you excited about it? Are you not? What's your favorite entry into the Conjuring franchise? Mine is the original, but what is your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. And also hit the link in the description as well, and go over to the Development Funds campaign for the house on Port Robinson Road. And let me, and pick up a perk, and let's get this thing to 40% by Tuesday. If we can get it before, that's amazing. That's just sort of my goal. But if we can always get it there before, that's always good too. And then, like I said, 50% before August 15th, that goes up onto the campaign. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Alrighty. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you soon. Cheers.